Hello my darling garden clubbers. So this is just a quick tour of my garden so I can show you what I've been busy doing and how I do a garden. So this is normally all nice and neat, but there's always something on the go here while we're waiting for more sunny weather. I grow miniature trees. These are called bonsai. Some of these are older than you are. Then on the ground over here we've got pots of lettuce that we just pick anytime we want something for a sandwich, which is great. We've got some couches underneath a cover there so that when the rain stops we can take the cover off. And look at this. This is amazing. These are my strawberries. They're not the only strawberries I have. Have a look at this. That is a nice strawberry right there. Don't even have to clean it. Oh, that's really nice. We're growing little French beans in these big pots, and there's some strawberries in the small pots which we'll transplant later on. And there's some more sort of special types of lettuce, really fancy stuff over there actually. Then tucked into this corner we've got raspberries. This is called fennel. Really smells nice when you rub the leaves. And then I've got some bonsais in training over there, and it's a bit weighted down by all the rain, but this is carrot and parsnip in a special bed I've made that's just got lots of sand in it. So we've got that, and then there's our big greenhouse. That black cloth on there is just to stop the sun from burning the plants inside too much. We have these two towers, and on these are growing broad beans. They're getting quite high up now, which is nice. This is a beautiful plant. Look how big those leaves are. That is an artichoke, and there's the flower. We don't eat the artichokes, we just use it for the flowers because the flowers are so pretty. This funny device over here is called the shishi odoshi, which is a Japanese water feature, and its main job is to scare away rabbits, deers and doves. And the reason why I built it there is because this is a sweet cherry tree. We've even got that sort of shiny stuff inside the cherry tree, which also helps scare away the doves, and they come and sit in the tree and eat the cherries. So I bought this over here to scare them away. And this water feature is solar powered. There's the solar panel hidden in the distance over there. We have a bed in front of our neighbor's fence over here. It's got some garlic, some onion, and growing in amongst them are some peas. So when we pull the garlic and onion out, we'll still have the pea plants left behind, and we're going to train them up the wall, and then we'll have lots of peas. Now let's have a look inside the greenhouse. So this is our working greenhouse. We've got tomato plants in the distance. Those are nearly ready to go out. We've got some lettuce over here, some tomato plants that are going to stay in the greenhouse, and these are different types of pepper plants, lots of different types. There is some radishes and a few more pepper plants. This is a cool little thing. This is a thing that opens the window when it gets hot. It's sort of like an automatic window opener. So this black thing over here is filled with wax, and when the wax melts because the temperature in this room is too hot, then the piston pushes out and it actually automatically opens the window to let in the cool air or let out the hot air. This is a really cool device. Oh, and this is a gooseberry bush, and you can see we're getting some gooseberries pretty soon. These are lovely lily plants. They're about to come into flower. Maybe I should have waited and shot this video in 2 weeks time, but we'll have loads of flowers from them. This plant over here is called a lupin. It's got really pretty flowers. I like them, so I've got quite a few in the garden, and the bees definitely like them. They get really busy. We've got a lot of bumblebees in our garden. They're really cute. I love our bumblebees. They're all over the shop. So let's keep the tour going. That gigantic flower is a rhubarb. We don't eat it, we just like the big leaves. This is a weed actually, but it's a pretty weed. It's called a money, I think it's called a money plant, because the pods look like coins. The flower's really pretty, but it's about to be cut out. I'll chop it out later on this week. How's this for a rose? My wife's favorite color is yellow, and I wish you could smell it. Even from where I'm holding the camera, I can smell those lovely flowers. This is a really old-fashioned plant. I can't remember what it's called, but I could look it up, but it's really pretty. It's all over the place now. And we've got more lupins. We've got a nice red rose. This is going to get really tall soon. We've got some sunflowers hidden in the background. This is a beautiful rose bush over here. And hey ho, more strawberries. The reason why I hang my strawberries in baskets is because then the slugs can't get to them. And this is the sunniest part of the garden, so you get strawberries that are that dark. And if they're that dark, that means that they're really, really sweet. And I wish I could share this with you. But, oh, that is nice. Underneath the strawberries, I've got some blueberries. This is a special box I made just to put sort of very acidic soil in, because blueberries like acidic soil. Over here, got a sour cherry tree that's about to grow. So that's kind of cool. This weird blue box is just for me to shoot at. I've got like an air rifle that I sometimes use just for fun. And this is a way of making sure that everything I do is very safe. So, let's go on the path over here. Here's our water feature, and this is where the frogs live. You can see you get a nice little tinkly water fountain. That's a really cool plant. It's called a red hot poker. There's the bench I come and sit on and have coffee after school. And I've got another little bonsai hiding away over here. Now, you won't be able to see any of the frogs because they usually hide away during the daytime, but they are in here somewhere. I see them at night time when I come for a walk. Oh, this is a black cherry that will produce lots of cherries next year. It takes a while for it to, or blackberry, sorry. These are going to be huge. This is a raspberry bush, and if I go in really close, the bees have been really busy. So that's a raspberry, and in about 2 weeks those are going to be huge and red and very sweet. So we're going to get a very, very large crop of raspberries this year. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Over here we have a type of plant called a kohlrabi, which is a very delicious sort of cabbagey type of plant. And the reason why there's empty patches is because we had Brussels sprouts growing in there, and I took them out, so now we have to put some more plants in those gaps. Gardening isn't always that neat. So we just planted this in amongst the mature Brussels sprouts, and then we pulled them out. This is my pear tree, and for the first time in 4 years we're actually getting pears, which is very exciting. It takes a long time for a pear tree to actually start producing pears. They say grow pears for your heirs, which means pears are quite difficult to get going. This is my asparagus bed, and we have been eating so much asparagus out of it. This is what they look like when they grow in the ground, and then you just snap them off, and they keep coming up until eventually they get very thin, and then you leave them for the next year. And marigolds, great plant, very pretty flowers when they come, and they are a plant that has a smell that bugs don't like, so this can protect our plants. But we're always having to do some weeding around here. So that's that. In this bed, which I was weeding yesterday, we've got beetroot. I wonder how many of you like to eat beetroot, but look how many beetroots we've got going over there. That's going to be fantastic. I might put the net back on. That's just to stop the birds from digging. They like to dig amongst the plants, and they don't actually eat the plant, but the magpies do tend to make a real mess. and sometimes that causes the plant's roots to be weakened, so I cover it over with that net. This, believe it or not folks, is garlic. There's a lot of garlic there, and in about 4 weeks time it'll be time to pull it up. And then what we'll do is we'll plant those tomato plants you saw in the greenhouse, and we'll dangle strings from the special frame that I made from an old trampoline, and that will hold the tomato plants up. So as soon as the garlic comes out, the tomatoes go in. This bed doesn't get that much sun anymore because we built this extra roof, and Edward's garden has got lots of trees, so the sunlight doesn't get in here anymore. So we've decided to make this into a shade bed, and what I've planted in here is wild garlic, which will come back every year, and you only eat the leaves, not the bulb, and that's going to be nice to make into sauces and stuff. At the moment we've got some celeriac as well. They should do alright in there. And this was going to be our carrot bed, but it also doesn't get quite enough sun. There's a few carrots still in there, but I've planted whatever spare beetroot I had, and hopefully the beetroot will grow. That looks like it's quite healthy actually, so I think it'll do alright. These are all black currants. They're what they make Ribena out of. So you can see, if I just come around here, you can see the black currants are green at the moment, but they will turn black once the sun has shone for another few weeks. And this here is a red currant bush. You can see the red currants are down over there. Over there we have a little stand of sunflowers getting bigger. I put the sticks in just to stop them from blowing over, because we do get quite a lot of wind here. This little bed over here has loads of onion. They're going to get really big. Look at the size of that one, or that one. And in between them we've got something from South Africa called a gem squash, which has these pretty yellow flowers. And then you can see there's the little gem squash starting to grow. They become about the size of a cricket ball, and they're very, very tasty with butter. Looking forward to that. There's our shed. We harvest the water from the gutters, and then through here is a place I call the wilds, and this is where I make my compost. So I've got these two Dalek style compost bins, and we just put everything in there temporarily, and then when we're ready we start throwing it into this big steel lined bin. And the result, I'll just move this out of the way, is this. Here's my homemade compost, and that's a thermometer that goes right into the middle of the compost heap. It tells me that it's cooling down now, so it's almost ready to start putting on the rest of the garden. I put this here to keep the cat out because the cat comes in here and does dirty things. And these are my little hedgehog homes, which currently don't have any visitors just yet, but there's always the hope that one of them will crawl in there and sleep for the winter. Let's go through here. Oh, in this thing we're making our own liquid fertilizer. It looks pretty disgusting. It's got banana peels and stinging nettle. It's going to go rotten, and then the soup that it makes will be spread onto the garden. It'll be really, really good for the plants. And there's rosemary. And we've got these gutters that are attached to the shed, and these are full of different types of herbs. And we don't grow things unless we use them, so these are all herbs that we do actually use. It's fennel, basil, parsley. Just planted some new parsley in there that will come up soon. Different types of parsley as well. This is flat leaf and this is going to be curly leaf. It's just starting to show. Little rockery, some alpine herbs and steps going through. I like this. We call this Echinacea alley. These are called Echinacea plants, and they produce massive beautiful flowers that last for a long time. So they're going to come up in about 2 or 3 weeks time, and then this whole part of the garden is just going to sing with purple and red and white flowers. It's lovely. We've got this little old statue in what we call the traffic circle, and it's holding some really cool moss that just never dies. This just keeps staying like that as long as it's kept wet. Wonderful. We have a little water feature over here. Again, it's solar powered. The solar panel hides up in the weeping cherry tree, and it's always just trickling, making a pleasant little sound. And I like making fairy houses, so there's a little fairy house for you, just hiding away in a pot next to the water feature. It's actually got lights inside it, and they come on at night time. Here's the first fairy house that I built in my garden. It's a little bit overgrown. I need to do some fixing up of it, but it's even got a toilet over there, which is kind of cool. And we call this number 21. It's a little covered seating area you can escape to when it rains. The reason why we call it number 21 is I got these wooden panels from somebody who was throwing them away, and on one of the panels is the number 21, so we call it number 21. This is Edward's wall, and I've got mirrors on it that make the garden feel like it's bigger than it is, which is kind of cool. Every time I find an old mirror, I just stick it on the wall. These wonderful plants are called hostas. We absolutely love our hostas. They come back every year and they fill up our garden. Absolutely lovely. That arch I made when we first moved in out of old wooden ladders, now it's covered in wisteria plants which have big purple flowers. This path looked like it's been here forever, but I actually put this in only 3 years ago. These are some more lilies that are going to explode. So loads of flowers all over here at some point. I love this huge big fern tree. And here's another water feature that I've currently turned off, but I can turn it on. That's mains powered. Some old trumpets. And there's another place to sit with some coffee. And there's another one of those little fairy houses. This one I built out of stone and concrete, and it also lights up. There's the solar panel. It's a really pretty little place. Light actually comes streaming out the door. That's one of my favorite little spots, is to come and sit here and enjoy the garden. So I hope you've enjoyed my little tour of our garden. You can do a lot if you just do a little bit all the time and just think about what you're doing, and of course do some research in books and on YouTube. So thanks for visiting my garden with me.